Well, everyone, this is Peter Brown with Look at Your Weather for the next 7 days. Here we are heading into the last week of February. That is also the last week of meteorological winter. Yes, we have gotten to that point in the year where meteorological spring is now only a few days away. However, before we get too excited about spring showing up and then astronomical spring showing up in a few weeks, we have quite a bit of winter weather, unfortunately, here to get through in the Burlington area. Now, starting our period on Friday, after we've seen kind of a messy week here in the Burlington area, again, we're going to start out messy. Looks like we're going to see temperatures, again, cooler than average, temperatures in the upper 30s with some rain and snow out there. And as we get in towards the end of the period, getting in towards next Thursday, we should be seeing temperatures at this time of the year in the low 40s. Again, we're going to be a lot cooler than that, I think, when we get towards the end of next week. Temperatures struggling to get out of the lower to mid 30s with that pesky chance of snow and rain again. And we do have the chance of what looks like right now at least, a fairly strong storm going into Sunday night in through most of Monday. I'm going to be showing you a little bit more about that in a few moments, but just keep that in the back of your mind as you're heading back to school and work next week. It could be a very messy and stormy start to that week. So going ahead, let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next 7 to 10 days. Looking at our temperature map, they're calling for us to have average chances for temperatures. So they're calling for us to have temperatures around 40. I think we're going to have to cut that back a little bit. I think we're going to be struggling to get up to average. I think it's going to be staying below average for most of the next 7 to 10 days, unfortunately, even as we head towards the end of meteorological winter. And looking at our precipitation chances, this unfortunately is something that I think is going to verify. They are looking for us to have a chance of above average precipitation. The only caveat to that is we still are in drought conditions here in the Burlington area and most of New England. So hopefully that'll chip away a little bit. I wish it would be coming in the form of rain as opposed to snow. But as it is the end of February, we know what type of weather to expect here in New England. So as we go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And there really isn't much good to say. If you are a fan of warm weather, this is definitely not going to be the week for you. Yes, that is true. Only Tuesday and Wednesday, those are the only 2 days next work week that I think we're going to really be seeing any appreciable amounts of sun and temperatures above freezing. And you'll notice Friday and Saturday, we are going to have that messy chance of a mix of rain and snow. Any snow that we get will be that heavy, wet, cement-like snow. So be careful if you are going out there to shovel any of this. I think we're going to see a pesky couple of inches probably out there mixed in with that rain. Same thing again, of course, going into most of the day, I think on Saturday. Not as heavy on Saturday as it's going to be Friday night into early Saturday morning. Now Sunday, looks like the morning is going to be pretty quiet out there. We may see some light flurries coming into the Burlington area, but then as we get into the later portions of the afternoon into what I think is going to be most of Monday, it looks like right now we have the chances of a developing nor'easter coming our way. Too early really to tell how much snow we're going to be getting, but it's definitely not going to be that light, fluffy snow like we saw in January. It looks like it's going to be much more in terms of a pasty, cement-like snow, and there could be a good amount of it with a good amount of wind here. So stay tuned to all of your local weather channels just to make sure that you stay up to date on their forecast, but it definitely looks like it's going to be very messy as you're heading back to school and work next Monday. Then, again, sun comes out on Tuesday and Wednesday, gives us a pretty nice midweek before we see a chance of maybe some scattered rain and snow making its way back into the picture as we get in towards Thursday. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.